It was bountiful country. The western plains, the great bread basket where the amber waves of grain seemed to roll on forever like some practical vision of eternity.
Back in 1927, I had a little farm and I called it heaven. Price was up and the rain come down and I hauled my crops all into town. I got the money, bought clothes and groceries, fed the kids, took it easy. Make enough to live on and get by on and live decent on. You work hard, work honest.
But the land was not inexhaustible. Years of overplanting pretty well used it up. And then the rains didn't come one year or the next, only the steady sun. The land dried up. Then the Depression hit. Prices dropped. The farmers, in hock for seed and tools and groceries, tried to squeeze one more crop out of the caked earth. But it didn't have one to give. Finally, the plows could only make marks, not furrows.
After a while, the only crop we got was dust. Couldn't turn it, couldn't water it, couldn't eat it. All you could do was wait for it to go away.
Rainmakers and water witches did a lot of business, but there just wasn't any to find. A wave of religion rolled over the countryside. People who had stooped to plant and reap now bent to pray and repent. But it didn't seem as if anybody was listening. When the money ran out, when the sheriff came around with a notice from the bank, when the last bit of hope dried up with the land, there was nothing to do but move on. They packed up what they could, pulled up roots that had gone down for generations, and went from being farmers to being migrants.
It was the 14th day of April, 1935. There come the blackest dust storm that ever filled the sky. I stood outside and I watched it, and a curtain of black rolled down. We thought it was our finish as it fell across our town.
A few stayed on, dogged, determined, not ready to give the land over to desert yet. They dug in and dug out.
Well, there weren't nowhere else I wanted to go. And you know, you let the devil beat you one time, he's always going to be after you.
Others couldn't hack it.
I've lived here 25 years on this land. Up to 4 years ago, we always made a living and had plenty. Now, after 4 years of drought, we have to move away, go someplace else to make a living.
I'll sing this song, but I'll sing it again, of the place that I lived on the West Texas plains. In the city of Pampa, the county of Gray, here's what all of the people there say. Well, it's so long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long. been good to know you. This dusty old dust is a-blowing me home. I've got to be drifting along.
The dust had been a long time in coming, and it didn't seem in any hurry to go. Eventually, when it finally blew clear across the country, Washington decided it was time to do something about it. All over the Dust Bowl, there were last man clubs, formed by men who swore they would be the last to leave. The government signed them up to tame the drifting dust and make it behave like farmland again. Spirits revived with the land. A vast tree planting program was launched, an investment in the future. Stands of cottonwood, pine, elm, and locust were planted down through the plains from the Canadian border to the Mexican. These shelter belts were to serve as windbreakers, to interrupt the open sweep of country and contain the scouring winds. 20 years later, they stand like sentinels in ordered rows, holding the wind in their branches and the soil in their roots. The land came back. Farmers planted, reaped, raised cattle, and told stories about the great Dust Bowl. The price of wheat and meat went up. The temptation to cash in was strong. People forget. Some overplanted the land again. Some overgrazed it. Some even cut down the sheltering trees to make more room for more paying crops. People forget. But the land doesn't.
So long, it's been good to know you. So long, been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. This dusty old dust is a-blowing me home. I've got to be rolling along.